What is going on, lads? Jack here, and welcome to episode 4 of the Pentagon Challenge here. On Football Manager 2013, we are still with Justice FC. We are on a pretty decent run now, so I just want to start off this video by thanking all you guys for your amazing support. You've been absolutely awesome already on my channel. I'm coming up to 100 subs. Hopefully by the time this goes up on Monday, we'll just about be there. You guys, you've been absolutely awesome. Loads of really awesome people have been helping me out, people giving me shout outs, putting me in their subscription boxes. I'm absolutely loving the fact, 5 days to get 100 subs is crazy, assuming we do it. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support. If you could just leave a comment, maybe anything at all, because although we've got 100 subscribers now, I'd love to hear from you guys. And I say it every video, but I'm going to say it now at the start of the video. If you've got any kind of feedback you want to give me, be that good, negative, any advice, anything you'd like to see on the channel, just write it in the comments. And if you've not got anything to say, just write I like football. I don't know, I just want to know how many people are actually watching these videos, because 100 subscribers is crazy, but I want to know how many of you are actually watching the videos. But anyway, let's stop rambling now. We're episode 4 of the Pentagon Challenge. We are still with Justice FC, as you can see. We've now played 25 games this season. We are kind of nestled quite comfortably in 8th place in the league. Teams around us have played their games in hand, and so it's looking very comfortable that if we can just keep up some half-decent form, we can retain an 8th place finish, which would be well above expectations. We were expected to finish kind of 12th place, but our expectations were kind of to avoid relegation. Fans believe we're starting to get the best out of Christian Miller. Miller still not managed to sign him a new contract. It's another problem. But as you can see, board confidence is fairly high now. We've been on a good little run of form. And overall, the club are quite happy with our performance. Unfortunately, we lost our last game 5-1. But other than that, we've been playing really well. I'll show you the fixtures. So, last episode we drew 1-1, that was the last game we'd played, and we had the big winter break. In that time I got some friendlies sorted. I was hoping to build some confidence up, and it didn't work at all. We didn't win anything, and then we lost against Deportivo Maipu, 5-0. Now they're a non-league team, but we played a pretty strong club team. Admittedly, there was a bit of rotation going on there, but you can see Almoa, Miller, Nunes, and we lost 5-0 to a non-league team, and I was thinking, oh god, this save's going downhill. But I decided to totally revamp the formation and the tactics, and it's worked pretty well for us so far. If we ignore the 5-1 defeat, we were on a little, a little good run of games. We hadn't lost in 4 games of our last 7 games. We've won 4 of them and drawn 1 and only lost 2, which isn't too bad a reform really. It's kind of 8th place form, so it's nice to get that recovery, especially after this patch here that you can see where we were just losing and drawing and we couldn't win a game. So it's good to get a bit of form. We'll start off with the game against Deportivo Merlo, but first and foremost I'm going to show you this tactics now. Most people like nice, smooth, kind of clean tactics. I'm warning you now. If you like symmetry, you're gonna hate this. And people are gonna be like, "What is this monstrosity I see on my screen?" Well, this is I'm calling it an alternate 4-4-2, and you'll see. I'll try and explain it very briefly. It relies on the fact that we don't have the best midfield in terms of in the centre. We don't really have any natural centre midfielders, and I had that big gap in the centre, which was causing me a lot of problems. So what this formation does is it makes the best use of our 2 defensive midfielders, that being Quiroga and Wagner. It uses their 2 quite good defensive stats to put them in a defensive position on midfield. So as you can see, Quiroga has pretty decent stats, decent tackling, decent passing, and then Wagner has decent stats also to play as an anchorman. And then players like Fermani isn't the best defensive midfielder, so he can make a decent role of being a kind of slightly more attacking player for us. And then as for the rest of our team, we're pretty much sticking with that philosophy of the spearhead. However, we're playing more with 2 natural attackers, with Nunes just tucking in behind Miller, who's playing as the poacher. So it's not too dissimilar to what we were playing, it just looks obscure. But it has worked for us so far. You'll also notice we've switched to counter, so I'm trying to let Team Sucker kind of into attacking us and then hitting them on the break. One thing that I've noticed with this division is all the teams are pretty attacking. I mean, if we go to the league and look at goals, every team is averaging at least a goal a game except the team who are bottom. So it's a very attacking league, and this formation has definitely worked well in this division, and I'm definitely going to be looking at employing it next season as a kind of long-term solution. But anyway, let's look at the first game. This was against Deportivo Merlo. As I said, because we're now playing a counter-attacking formation, we're not going to have as much of the ball. This game we still played pretty well, and one thing I have been doing is if we are able to keep the ball well whilst playing on counter, I just switch to control. I start off on encounter, play safe, and then it can always be switched. But then anyway, in this game we went 1-0 up thanks to Christian Miller. Then Pajon for them scored in the 55th minute, and then we scored again in the 73rd and 90th minute for a nice comeback. So you'll see the kind of weird shape of our formation going on here as Miller gets in behind the defence. I think that was actually a pass back by their defender. A really big screw up by him, and Miller just using his pace and his, I guess, technical ability to get in there. They scored, of course, just into the second half. Little short throw in, gave too much area to their striker in the box, and he was able to bury it for them. So it went to the 70th odd minute, and their keeper, on another one of his crazy adventures, decides to give away the ball there. Mua draws in the two centre-backs. Nunez makes a run between the gap that's now been made, and he's able to just pass it to Miller for the kind of sweaty FIFA goal. And then in the very last minute, cross comes in and isn't cleared properly by them. We nicely work it around, and Sanchez is able just to get a neat little finish from inside the box into the bottom right corner. So that was a good first game. After the break, particularly after the 5-0 defeat we'd had, I was a bit kind of concerned. We then had to play Gimnasia at home. Last time we played these guys, we got beat 3-0 away. So it was kind of important for us to at least go out with a bang and not completely kind of roll over on our belly. So as you can see, they had the majority of the possession. That's kind of going to be expected with this counter-attacking kind of tactics we're going with. And I don't know, I feel as if the counter-attacking tactics work well for us just because we have two very good defensive midfielders and two fairly decent attacking midfielders and no really supporting midfielders. So to play kind of a formation where we don't need the best kind of well-rounded off midfielders with the counter-attack works quite well. But anyway, they scored in the first half. Disappointing set-piece defending. We then got a reply in the form of Nunez whipping the ball in. Miller was there to knock it down to Wagner, and Wagner scores. And then they went and scored just before half-time, which is a little bit disappointing, but we did keep it solid in the second half, I'm pleased to say. Well-worked goal by them. And yeah, I mean, it's weird this because this video is going to be going up on Monday. I've actually been playing a significant amount of the Road to Glory series, and so I have a lot of episodes stockpiled for that now. So coming back to this save was a bit different because, I don't know, Argentinian second division football is very kind of attacking, very kind of continental, and very much like, South American, how you'd associate it being with kind of, you associate Brazil and Argentina with free-flowing attacking football. So I came out, obviously been at Football Club United of Manchester, and it was interesting trying to come from a new perspective, just looking at it from a new angle, this season, this league. But anyway, that was that game. We then went to Olimpo, who I think we beat them at the start of the season. Yes, we did. We beat them 3-1 at home, and so it was a game which I was hoping we could win just because we'd had two fairly promising performances in the previous two games. And yeah, this was a pretty decent game as well. We went 2-0 up, thanks to Miller scoring in the 10th minute. Looking at the stats, you can clearly see that we didn't have the most of the ball and they had a lot more shots, but we made ours count and worked the ball well on the counter. So cross came in from Miller, pretty standard goal. He's not the best player in the air, but Miller just seems to be able to kind of find space, I suppose. Anyway, second half, big goal kick came up on Merlo with plenty of space and pretty much a Route 1 goal kind of goal, which isn't associated with South America, but it kind of is associated with our tactics. But straight from kick-off, we fell asleep. They were able to find the spaces, play the passing and moving game, and two defenders both get suckered into the ball. Space is found, and it's a tidy little finish by Soto Torres for them. And then I can't remember who scores this third goal, but we scored this goal right at the end of the game. 10 minutes left. It just made the last 10 minutes that little bit easier for us to be, to go in at half time, at full time, and not have to worry about it. But as you can see, counter attack. They have the ball, they lose it. We just work it nicely, quite direct play. Ball gets pinged into the area. No, it doesn't. It gets pinged to Koyang. Oh, and then Koyang does this little dance between the left midfielder and left back, and a neat finish and quite impressive play for a right back. He did get man of the match, but Koyang had a really good game there. Really impressive stuff. He has pretty decent stats for a centre back who's playing right back, but as you can see, a very well rounded off player for this kind of division. And he was a really good purchase this year. So after that, we then went to, where did we go? We went to Aldosivi, and this was a 2-1 win, and their manager got sacked after this game, and this was a really impressive performance by us. We went 1-0 up, they then equalised, and then Wagner got sent off, so we had to sacrifice a bit of our attacking threat, but then they had a player sent off, so 2 settings off in this game, which was a bit odd, but anyway, they took the lead early on in this game, I believe. Yeah, but I think they took the lead here, let's check. No, they didn't. We hit them on the break. We did. Exactly. Route 1. Miller is there. This tactic, I don't know. If it was a real game, we'd probably be looked at like Bolton were, and Sam Allardyce's teams are always looked at with the hoof ball. But it's worked for us, so I'm not going to complain too much. Part of being a football manager is being able to identify something that works for your team and your players, and be able to use it and play to your strengths to win. But anyway, we went ahead, then they came and responded, and then both teams ended up getting red carded players, both for second yellows, so it was 10 aside at this point. 50th minute, they just had their sending off, and we worked the ball there, and I think that was for Manny with the header. Impressive play for a right midfielder. Not sure what he was doing there at that moment in time, but a good header nevertheless. So that was a really good performance to come back from 1-0 down. We then went to Boca Udinos, and we won 1-0 away. I think that was another smash and grab result. We won't bother watching the highlights for this, but I'm pretty sure this was another smash and grab. Kind of was. We didn't have as much of the possession, but we did well, and Fermani got on the score sheet again. We then went to New Chicago, 3-3 at home. This was a really entertaining game. As you can see, plenty of goals, 5 of which came in the first half. We were 3-2 up, so it's a little bit disappointing to lose, but overall really happy with the team's performance again. Statistics not with us, but we managed to hold out for the draw. It's a good result considering the lack of form we had before the season and the fact we performed. Nunes there opened the scoring with what I think was a cross, unless he meant that free kick, in which case that's really impressive, but pretty sure that was a mistake. But they responded pretty soon after, well-worked goal by them, and 5 minutes in it was 1-1, and you had a feeling there were going to be goals in this game, and 6 goals in this game was pretty shocking. When it was 5 goals had been scored at half-time, I was kind of thinking we might get some kind of crazy 6-5 result or whatever, but 3-3, very happy with it again. Can't criticise our team. Players showing some good attitude to be able to respond, and we did. We did well again. Really quick play here. Playing this counter-attacking direct football now. Teams are being a bit over-creative in our league. We're just trying something different. It's not really traditional Argentine football, as I've said, but it seems to be working for us. And in fact, is this their goal here? I don't know. Let's find out. But anyway, you can kind of see how we're playing now. We're playing a lot more direct, and we definitely don't have as many gaps in the centre. And in fact, it's another AI what the hell moment going on there. Another football manager glitch, I suppose. Either or you can call it a really bad goalkeeper mistake, but I know there's a lot of stuff like that happens on Football Manager. But anyway, they responded again, and 20 minutes in it was 2-2. So you can definitely see why I thought there were going to be goals in this game. We then took the advantage again in this game, went 3-2 up. Again, a counter-attacking move. You can see we win the ball here, they're on the attack, and it's just really direct play again from our players, which is working for us. And as I said, it's not attractive, but it works for us. Our Mua there spreading it to Fermani. He's able to find some nice space down the wing, and then we've got 3 players in the centre to aim for, and the ball falls nicely to Miller. Saved by the keeper, but Amua's there for the rebound. So we went 3-3. 3-2 up in this game. Then we conceded just after the half-time, which is a little bit disappointing. But I really can't fault the players' performances just because of the run that we've been on before this. Before this little patch, I was a bit worried. However, the team's definitely reassured me that we've got some fighting spirit in us and that we can definitely finish off the end of the season strong, as we're now like 70% into it. Anyway, so the next game was the last game of the season against Instituto, which we lost 5-1 away. And this game was a little bit embarrassing. You'll see that we didn't perform. Defensively was our problem. Koyant, Aguilia, Solomon, all ratings below 6. Just, you're not going to win a game if your defence is playing like that. And as you can see, it was actually another game where it was 4-1 at half time, and then there was only 1 goal in the second half. Stats, we were dominated. We were hitting them, trying to hit them on the break. We're going to Instituto, who are I think they're top of the league or in second place. They're a very good team. We did actually beat them earlier on in the season. I think that was a bit of a fluke when we were on a good run of form, but this was a bit of a reality check for the guys. They go 1-0 up, and then they go 2-0 up with Christian Chavez scoring for them. You just see defensively we're not very good, and Chavez there starts off the play, spreads it to Bazan, continues his run, wins the ball, cuts inside and onto his stronger right foot, and you can't give a prolific striker like him that kind of space. Looking at possession, 61% is probably a little bit too much that we're giving them, but away from home against a team who are in really good form, it's disappointing, but we've got to kind of put the result behind us and just kind of kick on now and not let this result affect our future performances. So they score again there. Sanchez with the free kick in. Miller, I think, bundles it in there. Keeper could only parry the initial shot, and that was Miller's 20th goal of the season, which was really impressive. They then score from a set piece. Sanchez with a big header, and then they scored their 5th and final goal of the game in the second half, 80 minutes in, from Billon. Good passing move by them. We defended slightly poorly here. You can see there's a big gap in the centre, which we couldn't leave here. Still the gap in the centre. I don't know if it's just teams are able to stretch each other really well in this league, with us being in Argentina, or the fact that they're a strong team. But it was disappointing, to give them that much space, and they work the ball well ultimately, find some space on the wing, get the cross in, and they're able to get the ball in and score. But anyway, guys, that's a quick update of what's been going on so far in the Pentagon Challenge. Good end to the season is like what we need now. We need to cement a top half finish, and then hopefully we can sort out the transfer budget and sort out who's coming and going. I'm definitely going to have to free up some of the transfer budget. In terms of money, we're already minus 400,000 in debt, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be at this club. It's just not a very financially stable club. It's disappointing, really, but I believe we're over the wage budget by about £1,700, which is about 15% of our budget, of our actual wage budget. We're over, so I'm beginning to think the finances of this club were flawed from the offset. Who knows, maybe some money will come in from somewhere. It's a little bit disheartening because I kind of want to stay at this club now because I feel as if there's stuff to achieve, but ultimately I don't know if I'm going to be here next year. But anyway, guys, enough about this miserable stuff. As I said at the start of the video, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your ongoing support on my channel. It's really awesome that you guys are here helping me out and giving me some support. Really appreciated. I love you all, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks for watching.